Hey guys, it's Jen. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Run Day Monday and welcome to this amazing trip announcement. I registered for a race that I had no intention of running and I'm going to tell you all about it. So my relationship with the Princess Half Marathon goes back to, I believe, 2010, which was the first time I ran this race weekend at Walt Disney World. I absolutely loved it. I have so many happy memories. I ran it, I believe, 5 years in a row. I ran it the year of the inaugural Glass Slipper Challenge, and I'm going to show you the medal from that year in just a minute, which is now called the Fairytale Challenge. But I had stopped running that particular race weekend because my friend Sarah and I had really fallen in love with the Star Wars race weekends. And then also, I love being there for January for marathon weekend. I just can't, I missed like 2 marathon weekends in a row. And I was like, I can never miss marathon weekend again. I love marathon weekend. It is a necessary part of my life. So to fit a February trip in addition to all that was just a little bit much, especially when I was working full time. But I love the Princess Half Marathon. I love that it is a women's race predominantly. Of course, there's always guys that run it, and we love you guys. I love just the theming of the expo. I love that the fairy godmothers are usually out at the expo giving you, pixie dust in your hair, and that stuff never comes out, but that's a story for another day. I love to watch everybody dressed up. I love the princess theming. Love, 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 right? Had no intention of running this year. No intention. Happened to be on my computer. Happened to be when registration opened. And I saw some people tweeting about it and I was like, oh, I wonder if the half marathon is still open, just out of curiosity. And then before I knew it, I was in the queue. And then before I knew it, I got a Facebook message from my friend Susie, who was like, hey, I'm going to run the 10K. It would be so fun to see you. Are you going to be there Princess Weekend? And then some of my other friends like Lindsay and like Mariah from Mariah's Whole New World. I knew they were going to be down there. A ton of my friends are always there for the Princess Half Marathon weekend. And I realized I have no choice. I have no reason not to go. I had enough points to stay at Old Key West for a few nights. It's February. It's a beautiful time of the year. It just became something that I clearly had to do. Yes, I am not only doing the half marathon this year at Disney. I think it's February 23rd is the actual half marathon, but I am also running the 10K. So I am doing the Fairytale Challenge, which when I did the Glass Slipper Challenge, and I'm sorry, for those of you not in like the Run Disney lingo, and I know that there are, most of you out there are not, anytime they do a challenge, it's back-to-back races. So you have everything from like the Dopey Challenge, that's the 5K, 10K, half marathon, full marathon. These smaller challenges like the Fairytale Challenge is just the 10K and then the half marathon. So I'm going to show you my medal from the first year that I did what was then called the Glass Slipper Challenge. This was the inaugural race in 2014, and this is what that medal looked like. Just gorgeous, right? You've got the blue. I loved that the glass slipper itself has that iridescent, it's sparkly. It just says February 23rd, 2014 right here on this really pretty lanyard that's even got the little pillow and the glass slipper on it. And it's just, it's on the smaller side in comparison to some of the medals they do now. But anytime I do an inaugural race, it's always, those memories are always really special to me. I also really remember that this was the year that Frozen was so big. I think Frozen had just come out and Anna and Elsa were on the overpass and it was just so much fun. So anyway, I am going to Princess. I know a lot of you will be running the Princess Half Marathon. I know a lot of you that watch the channel for specifically my running vlogs will be down there to run your first ever race, maybe your first 5K, your first 10K, your first half marathon. So I definitely want you to comment below because I'm thinking I want to do a meetup so that I can kind of meet some of you guys. It is going to be a great time. I roped my friend Sarah into doing it. I'm trying to rope another friend into doing it who shall remain nameless because most of you know her. She knows who she is and she's watching this and you need to come and do this race weekend with me. So I'm over the top excited. No, I also said I wasn't going to do quite as many half marathons and really I'm only doing 2 because I'm only doing the 10K marathon weekend, and then I'm doing the half marathon for Princess and the half marathon for Star Wars. So, it's not that bad. And what I'm going to do is just train for the Princess half, which should get me where I need to be for the 10K in January. And then for April, that'll only be 2 months later. So, no big deal. I always like to get at least 2 half marathons out of a training cycle. But what I want to talk about today specifically is this one friend I'm trying to talk into running the half marathon with me has a lot of fears and feels like an impossible task. And I remember that feeling before I signed up for my first half marathon. Now, y'all need to understand, I am a weirdo. I did not ever run a 10K or a 5K before I ran my first half. And I know that's super bizarre, but I don't know. That's just the way I am. But your body is really amazing. And when you start a training program, and let's say that maybe 3 to 4 miles is as long as you've ever run. And of course, you guys know I do the Galloway program. So any long run I do that's over about 5 or 6 miles, I'm actually doing a run walk. So I usually run for 2 minutes and walk for 30 seconds. So your body just adapts. I don't know how to explain it. It's just that you look at that training plan, you put it on your calendar, and it says run 3 to 4 miles. Well, okay, I've already run 3 to 4 miles many, many times, so check. And then the following weekend, it will say maybe run 5 miles. Okay, well, that's not that much longer than 3 to 4 miles, so I'll go ahead and run 5 miles. Keep in mind that these long training runs you're doing on the weekend are basically as slow as you can possibly run, at least if you're me, and especially if it's your first time. You don't want to be trying to break any speed records. You want to, if you're doing heart rate training, you want to keep that easy run, heart rate range, which for me, I think right now is like 130 to 140. It needs to be very, very easy. And if you think you're going too slow, you probably still need to slow down. It's not about time. It's just about getting your body acclimated to time on your feet. A lot of us, depending on the training program you're following, you might do some speed work during the week. But usually if it's your first time training for a half marathon, your midweek runs are just going to be regular runs. You're just going to do maybe 30 to 45 minutes 2 to 3 times during the week, and then your long runs on the weekend. I highly, highly recommend Jeff Galloway's training plans if it's your first time. Although I will tell you guys, I never go as far as the Jeff Galloway plan says. He usually has you going all the way to 14 miles for a half marathon. I've never done more than 12, and I've always felt completely prepared for all of my half marathons. But I just want to speak to this concept of don't look at the end, look at where you are. So when you look at that training schedule and you're looking at, I clearly remember the first time I saw an 8 mile, a 9 mile, a 10 mile run, and I thought, that's not humanly possible. Like, I am never going to get to the point where I can comfortably run 8, 9, 10 miles. It's just not going to happen. And I was 100% sure. I had signed up for the race, and I was like, well, when I get to that point in my training and my body doesn't respond and I can't do it, I'm just not going to run the race, right? I'm paying money for this. I don't need to be punished. I'm paying money for this. So imagine my surprise when I was able to run 5 miles, and then I was able to run 6 miles, and then I was able to run 7 miles. And because I was going slow enough, and because I was taking my walk breaks, and because I wasn't worried about time, and I was just really focused on being out there, and before you knew it, I was trained to run a half marathon. And before I knew it, I was signing up for a full marathon, which is something that I never in a million years thought I would do. I was 40 when I ran my first full marathon. It was an unbelievable experience. I have zero regrets. It was a Disney marathon. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. But I just want to tell you, as just a normal girl, I just run. I am not superhuman. I am not super athletic. I am not super skinny. I don't look like a runner necessarily. I don't devote my whole life to running, but I found it in myself that I could train for and run a half marathon, train for and run a full marathon. And I could do those things, and I blew myself away. And I could not believe the confidence that it gave me for the other areas of my life. So I don't know where you are today. I don't know physically where you are. But for those of you that can run and want to run, if you're thinking that these further distances are just beyond what you're capable of, You totally are capable. Almost every day, someone will say to me, I could never run like you do. And I'm thinking, well, not only could you run like I do, you could probably run better than I can because I have no natural giftedness. I'm just really stubborn. I feel really excited about this race weekend. I hope that I'm going to see you there. Princess Half Marathon weekend is always a party. I feel like each Run Disney weekend has kind of its own flavor. And Princess is, let me put it this way. I feel there is a lot more Prosecco consumed at Princess Half Marathon than some of the other races. So it's going to be a party. I hope that I see you there. If you're training for another race, I hope you're doing well. I'm still doing my heart rate training. I'm going to do a follow-up about that next Run Day Monday because I have a lot I want to share with you guys. But I just wanted to make this quick trip announcement and tell you that I'll be training with you and I'll be doing a whole Run Day Monday series. My training plan starts in October. So if you're not already subscribed, please make sure you do that and follow along and let's get this thing done together. And happy Princess Half Marathon.